This time on Roadworthy Rescues, we find an old Barneville on a horse farm. This thing's been off the road for a couple decades. We're gonna bring it back. Rolls easy, at least the wheels aren't locked up. If it works, is it a dumb idea? Well, the hunt for classic cars this time has brought us to a horse farm in Carlton, Michigan. Oh boy, you want a cookie? I have found a classic that's been off the road for 15 to 20 years. This is Lola. She's really friendly. Not the car we're looking for. Nice to meet you. Let's go find something with more horsepower. Oh, look at the kitty. Hey, Candy. How dare you interrupt my nap? Was told us down here in the arena. Album cover. Well, here it is, a 1962 Pontiac Bonneville. It's a little rough around the edges, but listen, there's a lot of potential with this car. We're told it's been off the road at least 15 years. There was an engine and transmission swap started on it, and then it kind of just sputtered out and eventually just got pulled into the horse arena here. These are pretty awesome cars. They were produced from 57 to 2005, but between us, we'll just pretend they stopped making them in the 70s. It's probably for the best. Now, this particular genre was created by Bill Mitchell, the legend himself, who also created Camaro, the Corvette Stingray, Tri-5 Chevys, a whole bunch of stuff, Cadillacs, all of that. And the protruding Pontiac front kind of started and really developed over the years. It just gave such an iconic look. This should have a 389 and hopefully not the Roto Hydromatic transmission. We're gonna find out, I guess. Let's walk around this, drink it up, and see what it's actually going to take to put this car back on the road. Help me, it's gonna need a lot. So a guy likes to start in the trunk just to kind of mentally prepare myself for how terrible this is gonna be. Let's be honest, if there's engine parts and things like that back here, we can start piecing this thing together, which there is. Oh, wow, a couple things. Most importantly, what a beautiful blue color. Jack instructions stickers still there. Secondly, moist, humid, terribly bad. We've got a radiator, a whole bunch of blue vinyl material. I wonder if the old timer here was going to try to do a headliner or something. Potentially the original floor mattage, and then the glaring obvious thing, the old torque tube. Apparently you need these to rotate the rear axle. Whole bunch of hardware, springs, all of the lights are unplugged, a couple belts. So everything is fine, seems like. Well, let's jump inside of the Barneville, which, yes, is actually named after the Barneville South Flats, which is where a lot of racing and speed cars started. Yep. Yeah. Oh. Smells like a salt lick covered in warm ravioli, wet hay, and regrets. It's actually making my eyes tingle a little bit. But look at this beautiful Pontiac interior. This was the luxury car only to be ousted by the Grand Prix, or Prix, which came out in '62. All the interior options, the carpeted bottom doors, they had some walnut veneer in some of these. Just really, really nice interior. This they were proud of, the Barneville banner up here. And the old teeth chopper 6000 right there. We got 42% of a headliner, 26% of a back seat, 0% of a package tray, about 75% of a windshield. That seems fine. Pretty cool air unit or air handler down here. 7,000 miles, it says. So is it 107 or 1,000,007? I'm not sure. The steering wheel looks barely used. We got more U-joints, more wires, levers. That's a shift lever. What did I get myself into? So this does nothing. Yep. That's gonna be fun. No. So I think it is safe to say this thing doesn't run. Let's go ahead and confirm it by opening the hood and then quickly closing it again and forgetting we didn't see that. All right, here we go. Oh, boy. Confirmed. We do not have complete edge. Everything's missing. Fan, belts, pulleys, radiator, cooling lines, radiator hoses. Ooh, fuel make-it happeners on there. It does have a lightning whirler, and a bunch of the lightning hoses are unplugged. Single pot of death over here on the brakes, and we'll soon snap that out and ruin all of the brake lines and spend 3 days putting brake lines in. But anyway, this engine was swapped in here out of a 61. And I believe, and I could be wrong, those had the roto hydromatic transmission, and they don't roto very much. And then they later on went to the super, which is a more modern kind of transmission. So I think here's where we're gonna start. There's obviously a tremendous amount of work to even get this thing rolling down the road. We should probably just hear it run first and verify this engine is in fact good. Then we should maybe find somewhere else to work on this other than the horse arena. Not that I don't like horse arenas, it's beautiful. But it's a little dirty, I'm gonna be honest. And we're gonna have to get under this thing, and there's a tremendous amount of work to do. Let me get some tools, see if we get this fired up. Oh, I hope this Black Widow just keeps walking. Go around, I'm busy. All the wiring is cut. We've got 2 starter relays, both hacked up. We've got a different starter in here than what would have been originally. And the ignition is completely missing in the car. So not only is there no key, there's no tumbler or housing. So I have commenced the gone in 60-second mechanicals. We're gonna just try to hotwire this thing, just to see if the motor turns over. And then maybe we can juice it up enough to hear this thing bark off and make a couple sounds. And then we're really in it. I didn't realize initially, but wiring, yes. Cooling, fuel, brakes, driveline, probably transmission, glass, cleaning, tires and wheels. This is a big project. I ain't kidding you. I'm being honest. The Barn Find Barneville is quickly evolving into a much bigger project than anticipated. We knew we were going to be under the hood and doing some wrenching, being a barn find and all, but there's literally nothing connected mechanically, physically, or electronically with this car. But Beth's here to shed some light on why it is the way that it is.
So my dad brought the car to the farm here at least 14 years ago. My dad's favorite was 61, 62 Pontiacs. He loved the drag racing era when they were building them better and bigger for drag racing. He had a 61 Bonneville that he took the engine and transmission out of, put it in this car, and it was a project that just got put on the back burner for many years.
So what we're gonna do here is, oh wow, that's blacker than my soul and low. Good enough for now. I'm gonna throw a wrench on the crank here and just try to turn it over by hand. And just try to make sure this thing goes 360 degrees. It's not locked up. We don't have valve train issues, anything like that. Yep, it's rotating. Good compression. It sounds like it's open manifold, actually. Yep, there's absolutely zero exhaust on the engine. It's just manifolds. It's fine. It's hot rodding. Need a lightning cube. Okay, let's see if it rotates. It does. It seems only right that I mentioned it has a gallop, being we're in a horse arena. One or two or all of the cylinders are different than another one. So it has this gallop sound to it because it's building different compression per cylinder. Now that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad motor. It could just be sticky rings, things like that. They gotta be ran to be brought around, you know what I mean? Feel like John Wayne's gonna appear any second. Okay, now we gotta start on sparkles. We're gonna need to get some power to our coil, being that every single wire in this entire car is either cut, snipped, or wired wrong. And no spark. This is my surprise face. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably the points at this juncture. Replace those first. See the lightning? We got lightning. The storm is back. So I pulled the #1 sparkulator out, and this is a really old, what is now AC Delco, but it's just AC. So we know that this engine has not had fresh sparkulators since 1974 or earlier. That's when the name changed, roughly around then. So that's pretty wild. It's been untouched that long. Could go ahead and use the old ACs. They're probably better than what we can get today, to be honest. Now I'm gonna stick my finger in the sparkulator hole, roll this over, and feel the compression, and that's when I know it's gonna be at top dead center on #1, and then we can set the firing order. Right there. We're to the point we have spark. Now we just gotta add some fuel, and we should be able to hear this thing make some racket. I just wanna make sure it's not knocking or banging or the insides aren't trying to go outside before we spend more time and energy on this thing. Bring in the thunders. All right, it's alive, it's a runner. It's making noise, sounds like a boat. Great, okay, so there is a tremendous amount of work to do. Shift linkage, throttle linkage, drive shaft, exhaust, brakes, cooling system. It's a lot. So we should probably get this in a facility where I can really throw the wrenches at this thing. We got a shop just down the road we're gonna head to. Actually, it's Motor Trend shop, and I think they got a couple tools in there, maybe even a lift, which honestly we're gonna need to pull this off in just a few days. Let's get this thing moved and get thrashing. Okay, so I've intentionally jackknifed the van in here with the dolly. Let's see if this works. It's gonna be an awkward insurance claim if it doesn't. If it works, is it a dumb idea? Go put the chain back. It goes underneath the Christmas tree stand next to the feeder. So we've arrived. Somehow these old dry rotted tires have made the hour drive to the Motor Trend Detroit office. We got the Barneville up on the lift here, and I've just been looking through things, trying to make a quick mental list on how to get this thing on the street. And I've got to tell you, the spoon is full. The spoon has runneth over. We have got a plate full here, but it's not a bad thing. I'm actually pretty excited about this. You know, we called this show Roadworthy Rescues, trying to get these things back on the road and enjoy them. But a lot of times what you don't see is the nitty gritty, the engine swaps and the fabrication and, you know, the true hot rodding, using what you have and just making it work. And this is an example of it. And I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to redo it. So what we got here, this is not a roto. This is a later model hydromatic transmission. It's on some sort of cobbled, homemade transmission cross member, which is not going to work. All this stuff needs to go away. The drive shaft is out of this because it's not going to work. It's not the right spline count. It's not the right length. We're going to need a drive shaft. That's another issue. Coming up here on the engine, one of the bigger issues is the guy, what I figure, Don is his name, is he's just an old school car guy. He was retrofitting this in, and I think where this project stopped was he did the engine transmission swap, he test fitted it and went, great, it's gonna work, I'll come back another day, and just never got to it. And there's a lot of telltale signs, like the transmission not being bolted in, and the big one is he literally cut the cross member out of the 61 and laid that cross member over this cross member to just drop the engine in. So we have double stacked cross members. The engine's not even held in any way, shape, or form. He's just test fitting, scabbing things in. So for us to find motor mounts for this engine, a transmission mount or something like that for this transmission is pretty slim, especially in 3 or 4 days. I'm kind of thinking all of this just needs to come out and try to cobble something else together that's going to kind of stay in the car. So I'm going to make a list here. It's going to be pretty extensive, and we're going to have to legitimately just scramble and try to throw this together. It's by the seat of our pants. This is real life. So we're going to need a transmission cross member. We're going to need headers. We're going to need a mini starter. We're going to need exhaust. We're going to need a drive shaft. And I'm just going to stop there because you know where it's going to be. Ignition, cooling, hoses, electrical, wiring, fuel pump, fuel make it happener. I don't know if the tank works. I haven't even looked at that. Fuel sending unit, fuel lines, beep boops, whatnots, and doodads. I've got to go shopping. I need a cherry picker. I got to figure out a welder, chop saw, grinder, discs, tools, things, stuff like that. And fade black, commercial. So yesterday we pulled this 62 Barneville out of a horse barn, and once we got it on the lift here in Detroit at Water Trend Studios, it became apparent that someone was in the middle of a project here and just kind of has things mocked in. There's a tremendous amount of work to do. And we're going to start, oddly, by taking it all back out. Undoing everything I did. This is going to go really well because I'm going to have complete disregard for anything hooked to this engine, which I don't think there is, but here we go. Hey. So this is what a guy was after, and this is actually part of a cross member of a 61 Barneville that the guy just cut out, left attached to the engine, and just sat this in the current car. Well, that posed a lot of issues, obviously, because it's not actually attached to anything. So what I have to do is somehow get this bracketry off of this piece, align it perfectly in this car, weld it all in, and then ensure that this actually bolts into this car. It's gonna be really good. Let's get started. So I've got it cleaned up a little bit in here, and we're already starting to see those witness marks I was hoping to find of the original motor mounts that were in here, and they look pretty identical. They should be. This should have had a 389 in it from the factory. So I don't know if the old timer was maybe planning on repowering it with the Chevrolet or a Ford or who knows. and decided to hack these off, then changed his mind, potentially. Nonetheless, I have kind of an idea of where these should go. So now the task is trying to get this off of here as much as I can complete, and then test fit them slightly, grind them up, bend them, mount them on the engine, drop the engine back in, get it lined up correctly, and tack that in, pull the motor out again, finish welding it, cut, weld, repeat. Okay, now I'm gonna get these ready to go back into the car. So I've got the mounts here, and basically just ground them up to where I can get back to thick metal of the original mount and not the old welds and things of that nature. So when we do go to weld, we have some good thick metal there. And I'm thinking we just plop them in like this. That should get us done, but I've got a lot of cleanup to do in here. Get all this smoothed out. I may even weld some of these holes closed. He got a little deep on the old, death wheel there. Once we get it all cleaned up, I'll bolt these to the engine. Now I can set this back down in the cleaned and prepped cross member, try to line everything up where it should theoretically go, tack weld them in, and then we'll get the engine out again, weld it all up. It's slow going, but we're making progress. What do you think, Freiberger? That's as high as I can get it. Okay. Hey, that looks like that's where they're supposed to go. Whoa, what? That's normal. Nope. Come on, little guy. Okay, we've got these motor mounts tacked in. Now, I've just somehow got to convince this 120-volt welder to weld, and then we'll be able to put the engine back in again. Rebuilding. Hours and hours of fab work, rebuilding. Well, since this is out, the guys decided to go ahead and rebuild it. It's the best opportunity. And by rebuild, I just mean hit it with high pressure water. And if I'm really optimistic, maybe some Rust-Oleum rings, Krylon camshaft. Haven't really decided yet. Sorry, Motor Trend executive people. Derek needed to wash his Pontiac. Ruined our beautiful parking lot. Pretty cool. Well, the day's coming to an end. A lot of futzing around today, but we did get some good progress done. We've got motor mounts in here for our 389, which is now hanging on the hook, painted, freshly rebuilt. And I know for you Pontiac purists, it's not the correct color. It's very hard to find that color. I like this titanium silver, blue, or whatever it is. Looks pretty sharp. Now, to be honest, we had to scour the internet. We think we have some of the correct parts ordered. We've got a used transmission we're going to pick up. We've got an adapter plate. We've got some sort of miscellaneous universal transmission cross members I can maybe make. The truth of the matter is, this is just real life. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting into, and you just got to figure it out as you go. And we're going to try to do that tomorrow. Hopefully we get engine, transmission back in the car and closer to firing this thing up and hopefully it moving under its own power. See you in the morning. Sounds like we got a storm coming in. Well, we're still short a few critical pieces, but parts are starting to show up, and one big one just did. A Turbo 350 transmission that was rebuilt off the interwebs. Hopefully that works. Glass guy's here. He's going to throw a windshield in, which is no easy task, but we're going to have that. So I'm turning my attention back to the engine here. I'm going to change the oil, put sparkleters in, try to pep it up a little bit, and eventually we'll top that off with the performance carburetor as well. We've only got 2 days left trying to keep busy and get this thing back on the road. It's going to be tight. Ooh. Not a maintenance engine, unfortunately. Shouldn't be able to scrape stuff off your push rods. So we'll pretend we didn't look at that. Tasty. So we're wanting to change the transmission on the Barneville, and this kit here is going to help me do that. Now, we're pretty certain that the super hydromatic that came with the car is just going to be no good. Plus, we're missing a tremendous amount of linkages, doodads, and whatnots to even try to see if that worked. So I wanted to use a BOPC transmission, but then quickly realized this particular year block doesn't have a starter pad for the starter to mount to the engine block. It actually mounts to the transmission. So that was another reason to get this adapter kit here. Now this kit basically bolts onto the back of the engine, and then the transmission bolts to this piece here. So I'm gonna pull this adapter plate off, start fitting all of this to the engine over here. We've got a crank adapter. You've got this collar that's gonna kick it out. This is the same thickness, of course, so we can put a standard GM flex plate on here, and then we can bolt up a Turbo 350 transmission of 400 to 700 R4. Sky's the limit. Kit even came with a little mini starter, which is pretty cool. That'll help with our header clearance when we get into exhaust. And that is how you put a $1,500 kit on a $200 motor. So this is like a no-name torque converter. I chose an 1800 to 2000 stall just to give the old 389 a little more pep feeling, having just a tiny bit looser torque converter. So now we should be ready to slide this TH350 up against our conversion bracket, and bam, we have them mated. Torque converter should slightly turn still. Yes, sir. Then we'll measure that pull forward here in a minute. Has to be precise. Well, by golly, that might be it. Somehow it looks worse now that it's outside again. Might as well go ahead and clean up the engine bay here before we drop in that cleaned up little Pontiac. And maybe I'll spray the wand down the side of this car too and get all this barn dust off. Should have put all this barn dust in a bucket, put it online. $389 Turbo 350, getting ready to go into the car. So I've got Skylar helping me here. He's the muscle around this team, you know what I mean? So he's gonna push this bad boy in. I'm gonna kind of try to nestle it in and direct it and run the pump. Okay, in about 2 inches. He's gonna do the push and pull and lift and grunting. In again. Uh-oh. Oh, my firewall paint. There goes 40 cents. What in the devil? Okay, forward. In. Okay. Oh, oof. Okay, my bad, my bad. Okay, now we got to figure out how to get that transmission tail shaft off. Oh God, see under there? All right, go for it. Skylar's now spelunking. I'm just, oh, yep, keep going. Trying to keep this distributor alive. Okay, now you go up. Seems like we're bending things, right?
Yeah.
I think that adapter is hitting the firewall. Oh, we're on the steering drag link too. Okay, so go ahead and lift again, please. Yeah. Hey, this side's in. Okay, man, if we could go up like half an inch and back, we'd be home. Oh, it's going. Yeah, I think we're there. Is it lined up?
Like a glove.
Woo! Yes, ouch, ouch. Barneville bites. Well, luck would have it, the scab together motor mounts from the other cross member that was set over the other cross member cut off and welded to this line up. Everything fell into place. It wasn't the easiest, but thanks to Skylar for helping underneath the car, we were able to shimmy and shake it into place. So the engine is bolted in once again correctly. Now we just got to address the transmission because now we have a Chevrolet TH350 in here. So we're going to strap it into place temporarily, lift this thing up in the air, and I'm just going to start noodling and doodling, see what happens. Shocks are good. Okay, a guy's got the 389 and turbo 350 back in the car here. It's not super ideal. If you're looking at doing something like this, I have to say the conversion plate is really, really neat and it works well, but you have to plan for it pushing the transmission backwards. So if you have some sort of stock transmission cross member, you're gonna have to modify it anyway, but it's creating some interference-ish up there. Tail shaft's a little bit farther down than I would like, but we're gonna try to work with it. Right now, I'm gonna cut out this old transmission cross member, which you could see was a trailer hitch at one point, and maybe a fence post or something, a couple pieces of angle iron. I like it, I do, but it's gotta go. And then this needs moved way up here, where we're gonna have a polyurethane bushing. For this transmission, we need something to go across here, hold this in place, and then one of our big key missing components is a drive shaft. But at that point, when this is bolted in, I can actually send some measurements to our drive shaft guy so he can start making that. So this is a pretty big moment, actually. I'm looking forward to it. Do we have any goggle cutting bosses? We build cars. Follow me for more tips. If I hold them together, they kind of work. Ow! Ow! Oh! Oh! Ow! 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 Oh! 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 Right in the tattoo. That probably cost $1,000. That's fine. Whoever invented the torch just chose violence that day. I think that side's free. I'm trying to slowly and delicately cut this out because I don't want to cut the frame. It's pretty good. Precision. Okay, now I just got to get a hammer out, beat the rest of it out of the car. You shall not transmission. What is this? Oh, wow. He welded a bolt to this as a hang-off to cantilever it to then weld it. Smart guy. I like it. Fully approved. Time to get a transmission crossmember in here. So we're going to be making our own essentially because they don't have a kit for the actual crossmember. There are, however, a bunch of universal things out there you can get to get you started, which like is this. It's just a tube. You get some bracketry and things like that. Now is a bunch of measuring, welding, cutting, grinding, drilling, and burns. Okay, let's get started. Ow! 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 Oh, it hurts the hand. Just getting burned today. They should make gloves for welding. So what I'm going to do is actually elongate it. Okay, now for my next trick, I'm just going to cut some angle iron on both sides. We'll try to drill that and make it to where we can actually remove it out of the car. Oh, this, wow. Beth's Barneville crossmember is done. This is what we need. Boop. That's going to leave us enough room for exhaust, and although it looks like it's going to be fairly low, it's not going to be lower than, you know, the rear end stuff or the pumpkin or any of that. So we should be okay-ish. Yes! Yes! Oh, that's done. That was easy. We should do this more often. Finally, success! The 389 and TH350 is permanently installed in the 62 Barneville. It fits good, it looks good, but we still have a tremendous amount of work to do. But don't worry, Friday's come and gone, tomorrow's Saturday. There's still time to get this thing back on the street and time for Woodward cruising. See you tomorrow morning. Hey, we made it to Woodward Avenue. Not quite the way I wanted to. Day 5, we're out of time. We came to Michigan for our 1962 Pontiac Bonneville. This thing sat in the barn for many years. And, well, we bit off quite a bit on this one. The super hydromatic wasn't going to work. So we spent quite a bit of time researching and ordering an adapter plate. And now we have the 389 hooked to a TH350 transmission, made motor mounts for it, made a transmission crossmember for it. We couldn't find a master cylinder and a couple other pieces. Drive shaft, we came up a little bit short there. Cleaned it up. That's as far as we got. We ran out of time. The Barneville fought us dearly, but we're still out here enjoying Woodward Avenue. We're gonna go see the sights, the sounds, the cars, and I'm gonna borrow the crew van, do some cruising myself. smells better than mine. Woodward truly is a special place in automotive history, and the car culture here lives on today in so many different ways. This Cars and Coffee gathering is a prime example. There's so many great cars, all different makes and models and walks of life here. It's definitely one of the best car community vibes you'll get anywhere in the country, and some of the nicest people you'll meet. I've got to explore some more. Well, since we're here in Detroit, one can simply not go to Woodward Avenue. The car scene is alive and kicking here, that is for sure. And even though we couldn't necessarily cruise our car, we can still show it off. We just went to one of the coolest Cars and Coffees I've ever been to. You talk about a wide variety of vehicles. It was there. Some of the most expensive things I've ever seen. They scared me, they were so shiny. But those car owners were checking out our old 62 Barneville. Car culture is just awesome. And there's also a lot to do and see. There's a lot of history in buildings and restaurants, and we went and ate at some pretty cool places, and there's museums and all of that. So we're gonna drink it in, make the best of this trip. Paint me a Birmingham, Little Daddy's family restaurant, Uncle Ed's oil shop, Shoppe. How's it going? You guys want to race these vans or what? Let's do it. All right. Oh, no, you got me. Chevy van life, you wouldn't understand. Oh, man, we've got different cars there. Look at that Cadillac. Oh, look at the Buick Riv. Sweet. Well, we've had a great day cruising Woodward and taking in the sights, even if it wasn't in the classic car we had hoped to be in. Speaking of classic cars, I'm going to check out some more beauties that just pulled in and take in some more good vibes of this amazing car community. Well, this week didn't go quite as planned, but this is as real as it gets. Sometimes you buy a project and it turns out it's more of a parts car, but that won't stop me. I will get this car running and back on the road, and you will see it again. So, stay tuned. How was that? Everybody like it?